Great morning to you. Thank you for joining us and thank you for tuning in this morning. This is Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM. Great morning to you. We apologize for bringing the show a little behind schedule this morning. Thank you so much for standing by and thank you for choosing Wells Radio 89.3 FM. We believe you're well and your household is doing great. And I pray that today will definitely be a blessed and great one for you in all that you do. And of course, to children resuming school today, congratulations to you. It's the beginning of a new session. It's the beginning of a new term, 2025-2026 academic year. We also pray that God would walk you through all of, the challenges of this season, studying hard, waking up early, and even for parent financial provision, basically. There's a story around that on the Tribune this morning. When we get there, we'll look at that and more. So all the best this week and then be the best version of yourself. My name is Ayo Emmanuel-Ojo. You're welcome to the program. Today, this is Perspectives Unlimited. We take you beyond the news to understand the stories making the rounds across major dailies in Nigeria. We serve you from their front pages first, and right after that, we dive straight into in-depth analysis to help you understand the stories even much more better. Let's start with the Punch newspaper this morning. On page 7, Dangote deploys 1,000 trucks. Ipman rallies marketers. On page 29 of the Punch, crude earnings fall by 3.18 trillion naira amid output surge. On page 29. And on page 3, Kanu 6 transfer from DSS to National Hospital. On page 3. On the same page, INEC Catholic bishops clash over 2023 poll credibility. Now to the major story this morning on the Punch. Emergency rule. IBAS defends 6-month tenure as opposition demands probe. PDP, Labour Party, Masob orders call for accountability as Fubara returns September 18. Wike Fubara shun transition Thanksgiving service. You find the story on page 2 of the Punch, and that's the major story this morning on the Punch. The photo story is here. The transition Thanksgiving service. The sole administrator of River State, the permanent secretaries, local government chairmen, head of boards, agencies, parastatals, service commanders, and traditional rulers during the interdenomination Thanksgiving service in commemoration of the Thanksgiving activities to usher in the democratic governance in River State in Port Harcourt. But unfortunately, Wike Fubara shunned the Thanksgiving service. Why? Well, pick up a copy of the Punch today and read up more. On page 8, State pledge quality education as schools resume today. On page 6, Lagos stops 6-story building construction after Punch report. And finally on the Punch, Ogun urges residents to relocate over flood threats. Now let's move on to the Nigerian Tribune very quickly. On page 12, Governor Adeleke has surpassed APC's 12 years record under 3 years. Osun student leaders, failed opposition aspirants should see what even the blind are seeing, Adeleke says. And now to the major story on the Nigerian Tribune on page 12. Parents groan as schools resume 2025-2026 academic year. We have no option but to increase fees, says school owners. Stakeholders seek ban on mandatory sale of books by schools. I need to say that with a big smile on my face. And on page 29, Dangote Refinery accuses Dapman of misleading Nigerians, says it offers cheaper fuel despite importing 60% of the crude. On page 26, travelers at risk as scam, extortion rampant at Lagos Airport. On page 22, Akpabio Akume to Nigerians, bear with Tinubu over economic hardship. And on page 26, in health, drinking too little water predisposes to stress. It's a study. Drinking too little water predisposes to stress. It's on page 26. And on page 6, Nigeria's economy back on global investors' radar, says analyst. And finally, legal procession in turmoil over the NBA's mandatory training. Is the new policy a fix or flaw? Senior lawyers speak out. And finally, let's move on to The Guardian. Akpabio urges Nigeria to tarry, says Tinubu's reforms will bear fruit, on page 5. On the same page, Dapman warns against decisive narrative in the downstream sector. INEC orders taxed on credible poll to avert protest. And back to school, parents struggle with steep tuition hike as schools wrestle rising costs. It's on page 6. And on page 7, punish politicians in early election campaigns, Serap tells INEC. On page 27, 2 states may experience, or 11 states, I beg your pardon, may experience heavy rain this week, federal government warns. On page 27, Shakarao's PDP chairmanship, ADA's prospect on SETU, ADC coalition. And also on page 6, experts divided over Fubara's return as emergency rule expires on Thursday. Aregbesola condemns APC's economic policies on page 27. And finally, on the same page, don't blame poor nutrition policy execution for 47% child mobility that you find on The Guardian. And of course, the photo story here. School, the building, the cartoon of a school, and then a little boy, climbing from the ladder from 500 naira upward, and then the father screaming in the background, the living expenses, which is also on the high side. Join us this morning on Facebook. We're live on Facebook, facebook.com/Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. You will find us right there on our Facebook page to watch, like, and share. And also on YouTube, you can watch on YouTube with the handle Wells Radio 89.3 FM and stream us live from anywhere in the world on our website www.wellsradio893.com. Great morning to you once again. Welcome to the program. Chukwemeka Munachiso joins me in the studio this morning. Good morning to you, Chukwemeka.
Good morning, Ayo.
Good morning to you. How are you doing today?
I'm okay.
And how was your weekend? Yes,
it was fine.
Any outing this weekend?
No. I was, school resumed today, and you have to do all the runs, and you have to be on your toes. So
absolutely,
and I wish the school authorities and parents and their children happy resumption.
Happy resumption, actually. And the children, they've had it with...
they will soon lose the weight.
Oh, yeah.
by the time they jump from Okada to Kemaro.
Yeah, I was telling mine last night, so you need to drop some weight. Work is back, and then we thank God for that. I just hope that all of this about fuel scarcity and the likes will stabilize, because Dangote, from what we have here, on the Punch newspaper this morning, Dangote deploys 1,000 trucks. Ipman rallies marketers. I read through to see if there is anything about, Nupeng, their reaction still. I can see that Ipman is excited, right? But nothing about Nupeng as such. If the 1,000 trucks are coming directly, I don't know where that still stands. We're hoping that really they fix all of that. We don't want children to be stranded, in between all of that, except for those in the boarding house. It's more convenient, from the walls of the, their hostels and to the classroom and around here we seem to have more day students, than boarders.
And so, you see, this morning while coming here, you see some children with their parents this very early.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
Ayo
it's not easy at all.
It might be novel to those of us in Oyo State, but for those in Lagos, that's the lifestyle.
That's the lifestyle.
As early as 3 a.m., you're seeing children in the car, sleeping.
It's not easy. Ayo, it's not easy. And these children are under heavy pressure. And at times, I wonder how they cope. It's not easy. Imagine an adult waking up as early as 4 o'clock, 4:30, and children waking up at that time.
At that time,
when they're supposed to be in bed.
And it's amazing. Like I always say, I don't know. Children getting to school, say so early, and then shutting down, say
Late.
sometimes 4, 5 o'clock.
4:30.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's my own opinion. It's just, I just feel it's a lot, even for an adult.
It's a lot.
I mean, see us here. We've been here since as early as it can be, and sometimes we're still here up until 5 in the evening, and then you're already stressed. You are really stressed. How much more children? How much more children? But let's take this story on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. It's talking about the resumption today. Parents groan as schools resume 2025-2026 academic year. We have no option but to increase fees. School owners, stakeholders seek ban on mandatory sale of books in school. Let's take the details. Most parents in Nigeria are facing significant challenges as primary and secondary schools officially resume on Monday. That is today, with many groaning under the weight of multiple charges and fee increases. Investigation by the Nigerian Tribune have revealed widespread frustration as a result of increment in school fees, the cost of books and uniforms, and other hidden multiple charges payable by parents upon the resumption of their work. Findings reveal that most schools have increased their tuition by varying percentage, some by 15 to 20%, while others by as much as 35% or more. Many also raised not only tuition, but also service charges on uniforms, books, transportation, extracurricular activities, and the likes. Paulina Okede is seamstress in Maraba Kura local government area of Nasarawa State. Is a single mother. She told the Nigerian Tribune that she has withdrawn her 2 children from a school in that area, and she's considering whether to enroll them in a public primary school or keep them in her shop to learn tailoring. She explained that her decision followed a 30% increase in the school fees and other requirements, which she noted were beyond what she could afford for 2 children. We can go on and on and on and on to read other people's account here. Our correspondent would also be outside this morning, to speak to parents. And so we can also gather first-hand information as regards that. But, you you are still in the business. See, some of us just started jogging, right?
You will meet up. You see, Ayo, the issue is this. Schools and those that have schools, they don't have a separate economy. They are operating within the economy of Nigeria. And is there anything in Nigeria today that does not have one increase or the other? So the school authorities will likely toe the line of increasing their charges because things have skyrocketed. Imagine a boarding school where they buy a basket of tomato in time past, let's say, 10,000, and now you go there to buy the same basket of tomato 120,000. How do you think that school will cope if they don't raise the bar?
School fees, yeah.
You understand? So it is but the thing is that some schools they don't do renovation that will be in tandem with what they're asking parents to pay. But there's some schools, high quality schools, they do a lot of renovations. They spend a lot of money.
Just to make parents.
Yes.
You can justify.
Why? Yes.
Why
you understand?
The fees
when you look
high.
at what they have spent so far on renovations and making sure that the students have an enabling environment for study, you will not have anything to do than to pay it, even with happiness. You understand? But some schools will not touch anything, and yet they skin the parents. They make them pay for what they didn't even provide. So we parents, we understand that the economy is not smiling for everybody. And the school authorities must actually raise the bar because they have to pay their workers. If they rely on if they don't increase any... Tell me one thing in Nigeria today that you can say that, this thing has not increased. Everything has increased. Everything. Because
let's talk about books. Because I know, I think it's a state government, I can't remember now, that did something around...
Yes, Anambra State, Enugu State, and I think Benue.
and around books.
Yes.
Yeah. The story here is saying something about stakeholders seek ban on mandatory sale of books by schools. I know some schools, if you don't buy the books in the school bookshop, your word will not be allowed to use that book in the classroom. They want you to, buy in books. And for those who also sell books at the open market, say you go to Berry, for instance, they're also complaining because sales are dropped for them. Because most schools are now you must buy your in the school bookshop by force, and so those that should go and buy in the open market, they are not experiencing sale as much as they should. Do you think this is a thing that should, be allowed? If that's the thing,
there are some cases where schools have bookshops, and it's not mandatory you buy from there. I know of one particular school. It's not mandatory. It is when some parents come, and because they have not bought, the school will tell you that, we have a bookshop where you can go and buy. But they don't make it mandatory for you to buy from them. No, they don't depend on sales from books. They don't. But if you want to buy, and it is good for schools to have bookshops, because some parents don't buy the whole books until the children start using them. You understand what I'm saying? So when they are using them, they will tell their parents, and when the parents visit school, you say, is there any bookshop here? Yes, there is a bookshop here. You will go there and buy. That makes it more convenient for parents. Not that it is mandatory that you must buy, but there are some schools where it is mandatory that you must buy from them. That is where there's a problem. And also, some of these state governors that I just mentioned, they came up with a plan that, look, children must not write the answers in the textbook.
That's the workbook.
The workbook pattern that they have phased it out, so that they will go back to that old system that we inherited. Because I use the same book with my elders. You understand? Those ahead of me, we use. There's one book they call is a English exercise book, Obi and Dada. Or in fact, virtually everybody, even my mother.
You passed it from generation to generation.
My mother's brothers, their children came to our house to
take the same book.
To take the same book. You understand? I think that's what the governors have frowned at. That look, the days of workbook, because at times you have the textbook, you don't have the workbook, and they don't come in pack. You have to go and buy. Some at times you buy the workbook separate, buy the textbook. Yes, so that's why the governors then said that look, children must not write the answers in the exercise in the textbook. So they must not, so that they can leave it for those who are coming behind
them. Well, I remember Yoruba literature, Ijakpati Oroko. I have
Ijakpati Oroko.
Yes,
I still have it.
I inherited it. I inherited the literature, and then I passed it not just to my own sibling, but to relatives who returned it after using it. And then, even though I don't know where it is right now, but I know that book must have moved from over 10, 20 people, if I'm not mistaken.
I inherited as
from one person to another. The bottom line of all of this is for the economy to be better.
Yes.
All we need is money. And if the economy is better, maybe this will not be a thing.
It will not.
Yeah.
I think the economy is okay.
Yeah,
it will not.
It won't be a thing. God help us.
Amen.
We hope our leaders also read this story today and feel the pulse of parent. And if you are in the capacity to stabilize something that can cut across, please let's do that so we can get God's blessings. Let's go to Rivers State. Emergency rule. Ibas defends 6-month tenure as opposition demands probe. As the Rivers State government prepares for the return of Governor Siminalayi Fubara on the 18th of September, following the 6-month emergency rule in the state, the sole administrator, Vice Admiral Ibas, retired, has defended his tenure, stating that he fulfilled President Bola Tinubu's mandate and stabilized the oil-rich state. However, the opposition parties called for an investigation into Ibas' tenure, particularly his management of the state resources during his 6-month stay in the brick house. The PDP described his 6-month administration as a waste of time, declaring it unconstitutional in a violation of democratic norms and demanding an investigation. Meanwhile, the New Nigeria People's Party dismissed the 6-month tenure under him as an exercise in futility, claiming it lacked legitimacy from the onset. The Labour Party also criticized the emergency rule, alleging it was designed to protect the interests of President Tinubu and the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, rather than those of the people. In contrast to the opposition stance, the APC praised Ibas for maintaining peace and upholding the right of citizens. Describing his time as a sole administrator, the party lauded his effort in ensuring democratic processes, especially the conduct of local government election in that state. Now, speaking at the interdenomination Thanksgiving service in Port Harcourt on Sunday, ahead of Fubara's return, the sole administrator urged political stakeholders to lay down their differences, emphasizing the progress and prosperity of River State must take precedence over personal interests. However, notable politicians in River State, including Wike and Fubara, were absent at the event. Aside from the chairman of the River State Council of Traditional Rulers, many monarchs in the state were visibly absent at the Thanksgiving. However, the permanent secretaries, local government chairmen, heads of board agencies, parastatals, and service commanders in the state graced the occasion. Is that a sign that truly statement from the opposition party saying that this sole administrator's time is a pure waste of time, and lack legitimacy from one state? Is the absence of Wike in particular, whom a lot of people said, hey, the administrator is there on the heels of the president and Wike's agenda. So one would expect that Wike should be there. Although I personally think I shouldn't expect to see Fubara, at the Thanksgiving service. But let me get your view.
When the emergency rule was imposed on River State, a lot of people reacted differently and in so many ways, because it was dubbed an illegitimate emergency rule, because the president declared it before even getting approval from the House. You know the way we do things here. And the opposition calling for a probe is a waste of time. Have we ever had any meaningful probe in Nigeria? When we probe, what is the outcome of all our probes? Nothing. Just white paper. You hear white paper that turns to brown paper, and nothing is done. So it's a waste of time. But to me, as a person, I think Ebas actually fulfilled why the emergency was imposed. That is the local government election. Because exactly that was why that emergency was imposed. And we are going to see later in the day how those people that emerged as winners will actually be real people that are voted into power. Because they have new chairman now, they have new local government. Will let us see how they are. Because I don't know whether you saw the picture of those people when they were being sworn in. You begin to ask yourself, so these people won election, but that is Nigeria. And Ibas has been able to fulfill the mandate, which is to conduct that election. That's exactly. But those calling for the probe of his tenure is a waste of time. We shouldn't. We know where we are coming from. There's no need to probe him. You understand? He has come. Let him go. Whatever he has, whatever has happened, let it happen. But let the issue of probing.
Whatever, say, if mismanagement of funds, like some people may currently alleging.
Let me ask you: mismanagement of funds is a normal cliche in our country. Who has ever been brought to book for mismanagement? That's why the kind of governance we are running here is strange, hybrid. In a Senate country, you are not in office without being accountable to the people. That is the bane of our leadership in Nigeria here. Our leaders are not accountable to the people. They do things anyhow, and that's why we are not growing. That's why we are still asking some questions that would have solved many years ago. It is not about probing people, being accountable. If our leaders are accountable, Nigeria is stupendously rich, and Nigerians will not be where we are today. Who is accountable? Nobody is accountable to us, because the system does not give you room to be accountable to the people, and the people themselves don't even know that their leaders are their servants. They see their leaders as their masters. So how can they be accountable? I know some countries where even their president almost as he went to jail because he was not accountable to the people. Our leaders here, they do whatever they want to do because they know that they are not accountable to any human being. They are not accountable. In a democracy where politicians are dashing houses and cars to judges and knowing full well that it is the judges that determine who wins election, not even the people. So what kind of democracy is that? That's the question. If we are the people who decide who governs us, that's a different thing. But when politicians are giving houses and cars to judges, And it is judges that determine who wins election, not even the vote. So who will be accountable to you? They won't be accountable to you because you are not the one that decide who wins election. We don't decide. The courts decide. The judges decide for us. That is why our democracy has become a bureaucracy. It become a hybrid.
All right. I mean, the different challenge, different statement, especially from the opposition party, really. And here they just truly justify why they are called the opposition party. Other parties and even other groups are calling for, proper investigation to ensure that the books are properly, checked and looked into. As of course that tenure is not, but only the APC, is justifying that he did well or didn't do well.
There's no need in looking into any book because you won't find anything. I remember one of the presidential aspirants during the last election. He said when they asked him, "Are you going to probe the last administration?" He said instead of probing the last administration, he will start to work immediately. Now thieves came to raid your shop. You are running after them. You left your shop open. The most important thing is that you go and secure your shop first, Abby. Leave the one they have taken away.
All right, we'll take a break right now. When we come back, we take your calls and we look at different sides to this story. Also, I would like us to talk about the absence of Wike and in particular Fubara and other, notable people in River State, such as traditional rulers, many monarchs that, were visibly absent at the Thanksgiving. We'll look at that and more when we come back right after the break. Stay with us.
How long will it take you to confirm payment? I have been waiting for the past 1 hour.
I'm so sorry. Our network is slow. I will just run out of data.
Same excuse yesterday. It is unacceptable, please. You better switch to One Data Internet Service.
One Data?
Yes, One Data. One Data is an internet service provider with the best alternative and solution for unlimited speed. One Data provides fast and reliable internet service to organizations, homes, and places of interest in Nigeria. With One Data, you get to enjoy the premium internet service with dedicated unlimited internet speed at all times, 24/7 fantastic customer service and support, and you enjoy a 1-month free subscription when you make payment. Now is the time to say goodbye to downtimes. Sign up with One Data today on 0811 223 2671 or visit www.onedata.ng for more inquiries. One Data, unlimited speed.
Boost your business with Wells Radio 89.3 FM. In a competitive world of business, strategic brand and product positioning is key to growth. Don't remain unseen in the shadows. Shine a spotlight on your brand with Wells Radio 89.3 FM today. Why Wells Radio? We are your state's #1 family radio station. We connect with the heart of families in your state. As the smallest unit of the society, families trust Wells Radio for quality content and information. Visit us today along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Our white and blue building just before Sharp Corner ensures your business won't go unnoticed. Advertise with us today. Call our marketing office on 0903 936 8185. Call Toby on 0803 509 3394. Yomi on 0706 616 5053. Take the leap today. Let Wells Radio 89.3 FM be the megaphone for your business success. You won't regret it.
89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
Welcome back to the program Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan, the capital of your state, is where we're broadcasting from. 0916 893 1000, 0915 334 893 and 0911 333 893. 0916 893 1000, 0915 334 893 and 0911 333 893. Let's talk about the resumption of schools today. And of course, that big story on the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Parents grown rather, as schools resume 2025-2026 academic year. The same story, a similar headline, is on The Guardian today. Parents struggle with steep tuition hike as school wrestle rising costs. You find that also on The Guardian newspaper this morning. For any parent that can still handle their phones, while you get your children along this morning, we would like to hear from you. What's it looking like at your own end right there? And also, you can also join us this morning to share your thought with the story of course, the tenure of the sole administrator in River State to end this week. Hello, good morning to you.
This is Aderonke from Muslim.
Good morning, Aderonke from Muslim.
Concerning the resumption of students as parents growing over it. So it is very shameful for the country that cannot provide common education to its citizens. So I think governments at all levels should please abolish expectation of parents by most private schools through customized textbook and non-transferable textbook from one family member to another. Because during our own time, we did our classwork assignments in our exercise book, and we enjoy more positive education than children of nowadays. So I think both the state and federal government, concerning the teachers, I won't blame them because due to the economic hardship we are facing in the country, so everybody is expecting high pay in their salary. So I think the government should intervene on this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Aderonke from Muslim. That's your own perspective this morning. You can share yours too. 0916 893 1000, 0915 334 893, and 0911 333 893. Let's talk about the absence of Fubara, the absence of Wike, and of course, chairman of River State Council of Traditional Ruler, many monarchs in the state, was visibly absent at the Thanksgiving. What do you think they are trying to say with the absence?
I think the absence is a message. Wike may not want to. Wike, there was a time he went for such an outing in Abuja and used the pulpit to say a lot of things, and the Anglican Commission came down hard on all the priests that, look, don't allow anybody again to come to the church and begin to use the pulpit to talk rubbish. I think that's why, because he knew that if he gets to this, nobody will allow him again to go to the pulpit. And Fubara may not, because Fubara, everything that happened was a slap on him. You understand? So he may not want to be there, whereby he didn't take part in some of the things that produced the so-called chairman and everything. So his own will be, you can easily understand why he didn't want to come. But when we came, because of that thing that happened in Abuja, he may have sensed that, look, if I get, and he's a man who likes to talk. Yeah. When he gets to there, nobody will give him a mic again. Because the church came hard after, I don't know whether you watch what he used the pulpit to be, the pulpit became a podium for political statements here and there, throwing jabs at his political opponents, and the church came hard on that and came out with a law that nobody should be given a mic in the church again to come out and talk anything that has to do with politics. I think that's why he didn't want to come.
All right, we're going to keep our fingers crossed. September 19 is here. That's 18 rather. Today's 15. That's
3 days more.
Yes, from now. So we look forward to the handing over, and I just hope that Fubara will settle in well now. Hopefully, they have been able to settle their differences,
Ayo,
and it is dancing to the appropriate quarters as
Ayo,
it should do.
There is something sinister about this issue of godfatherism. It will never allow this country to move forward. Anambra fought it. When the Oba brothers they even kidnapped Ngige and took him to Shrine. That was when Obasanjo was the president. And the state kept quiet. That was why when Obasanjo gave national honor to Achebe turned it down. Say, you cannot be stoking embers of destruction in my state and you are giving me a award. He turned it down. How many times? Now, Godfatherism, we had it in Oyo State here when we had the Bush and the like. It will not allow democracy to thrive, whereby an individual is holding the state at the jugular. You will not come out and say, unless you do my bidding. It is not done. We still have a long way. And some states have silent godfathers. But some governors, the only state I know I'm very sure of that you cannot have that godfatherism is Anambra State, where I come from, because they fought it. And anybody coming to contest, you are coming on your own. You are not answerable to anybody. You are not. And once they discover that somebody is trying to bring you under and you be answerable, they will revolt. So that is the only state I don't know of other states, because I'm from Anambra State. And you if you are coming there to contest, you are coming on your own. No godfatherism, because godfatherism is very inimical to service delivery.
All right, let's move on to other stories. Dangote deploy 1,000 fuel distribution trucks. Ipman rallies marketers. The Dangote Petroleum Refinery will today, Monday, roll out over 1,000 compressed natural gas power trucks to begin the first phase of its direct fuel distribution scheme. Consequently, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria has said it is ready to receive Dangote trucks at its various stations. Officials at the Dangote Refinery told the Punch that the direct distribution will begin as part of activities marking 1 year since the refinery started petrol distribution, initially scheduled to commence on the 15th of August. The scheme was delayed due to logistics problems in China. 4,000 CNG trucks were ordered from China to be diverted or delivered rather to Lagos from Dangote direct fuel distribution. However, the plan could not materialize because there were not enough ships to bring the trucks to Nigeria from China. A senior official at the Dangote Group told correspondent that over 1,000 trucks were received before the end of August, and others were coming in hundreds weekly. The trucks are arriving in hundreds every week. The officials spoke in confidence due to lack of authorization to speak on the matter. With the trucks available, the company said it would roll out the logistic-free distribution program this Monday to significantly reduce fuel prices across Nigeria. From today, the initiative will see the entry price of petrol reduced to 820 naira per litre, with corresponding lower pump prices in several key states. Let's talk about this 1,000 CNG buses. On Friday, Olale Konsoni and I had this conversation about this, and that's in connection with the whole Nupeng and Dangote Wahala that we experienced all through last week. At the moment in Nigeria, we're not experiencing scarcity of petrol. What we're experiencing is the price, which a lot of Nigerians, if you want to compare to what it used to be, it's a sharp difference from each other. Why do we need these 1,000 trucks at the moment? With the current state of our roads in Nigeria, additional 1,000 trucks, and remember, they are even supposed to be 1,000, and they are being delivered in hundreds. So we're going to have more of them on the road. Let's put all of these side by side, and the whole Nupeng still in consideration in all of this.
Well, we even need more than 1,000. The fact that we don't have good roads will not, because some people are now complaining, say Dangote is bringing 1,000. Which roads are they going to apply? Which roads
shouldn't that bother us?
No, that's where government has failed woefully. Is it Dangote also that will come and tar our roads? Is it the one that will come and fix the roads? No. Government has failed woefully when it comes to service. You see, when they talk of infrastructure, road maintenance is part of it. How many? Look at the roads. Look at Ogun State. Go to Ogun State and see. I read over the weekend. Yeah, I think it has the most deplorable roads in Nigeria. Go to some other states. You see the roads. So it is not Dangote. The government is supposed to do its own work. That's why government is in power. There is government for you to maintain law and order, to fix infrastructure, to make life livable for citizens. Not just, we have removed oil subsidy. Now, the proceeds, what are we doing with the proceeds? Governors have a lot of money in their hands. What are they doing with it? The federal government is sharing a lot with the state governors. What are they doing? Where are the infrastructure? Now, you say you put a 5% surcharge on fuel. We are going to use the money for infrastructure. You keep on saying, where is the infrastructure? So it is not Dangote that will fix our road. It is the government that will, just like governments failed to fix the refinery that gave Dangote the monopoly, that he has become as a monarch in our oil sector. So is he the one that will be doing things that government's supposed to do? It cannot. So 1,000 is, Nigeria is big. 1,000 trucks are not even enough. And don't forget that this man said he will deliver the fuel at the depot free. I know it's not free because he's going to factor in the logistics in the pricing. He's going to. So we have not had anything from NUPENG. We are still going to see how because you know what brought up the issue is the issue of unionism.
Yes, unionism. Yeah.
That the drivers will not belong to any union.
Yes.
NUPENG says that it is. That's where I fault as Dangote is the law. If you have workers and they want to be part of the union, they should be allowed to be part of the union because it is in the labor law. So, but the issue is that Dangote should not be expected to tar our roads, to fix the roads, because he has brought in 1,000 trucks. No. He's delivering service to the country because the government has failed to do the needful. They failed to do what they ought to do. And the citizen is doing it. Is he going to, he has given us a refinery. He said he will bring 1,000 trucks. Is he the one that will fix the roads for these trucks to ply on the roads? No. The government should do it. And this where this man comes in, Minister of Works, David Dumahi. What is he really doing? That is the thing. So look at it from Ibadan to Osun State. I don't know how long we have gone through that route. Everywhere is.
I mean, most recently, sometimes in May, I was on Ibadan Ife Road. Wow.
That is what I'm saying.
It's just
dilapidated, and yet
I don't know the current state at the moment,
speaking,
but at the time,
and yet we have removed the subsidy. And what you told us that we use the money for critical infrastructure. Is road network not part of critical infrastructure? What is going on? Or are we expecting Aliko Dangote to bring in the trucks and also go and fix the roads? He cannot do that.
All right, let's look at this part of the story here. Meanwhile, members of IPMAN have said they are ready to receive Dangote trucks in their filling stations. The IPMAN National President, Abubakar Shatima, confirmed to newsmen on Sunday that many independent marketers had applied for Dangote's direct fuel delivery to their retail outlet. Let's talk about NNPC in all of this. Right? It's been Dangote and Dangote and Dangote all of a sudden. And we're not even talking about NNPC, and you're just wondering,
yes,
where are they? Are they on leave, holiday? What's going on there?
That is to show you the sorry state of our governance, leadership. Somebody came up the other time and said they want to sell the refinery. To who? And go and check how much we have spent on that refinery. And yet, the same people are coming around to say they want to sell it. Who do you think will buy it? Is it you and I that will go and buy it? The same people that have collected money to fix the refinery and it didn't work will be the same people who will go and buy it. How do you run a country? You know, I've asked this question repeatedly on this platform. Our leaders, do they run Nigeria the way they run their own private companies? But there's one joy, there's something that gives me joy. At the end of the day, nobody goes away with a penny out of this existence. And you must go and give account what you did with your leadership.
Hello, good morning to you. Yes, good morning, Sulaiman Sheriff. Good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning, Sheriff.
They said competition is the beauty of economic development. What happened to our NNPC? The way we have Dangote, we have another private investor in the refinery as well. Until we get it right. Dangote is a private enterprise, and the major aims of the private enterprise is to make profit. So all the bad rules is a function of our government to do the needful there. So if our refinery cannot work in again, let us present ourselves. Maybe the federal government should privatize it, because every day, every year, they will come out with turnaround maintenance, and at the end of the day, it's efforts in futility that just deceiving us. That's my own submission.
Thank you, Sulaiman Cherry from Onara. Thank you for your submission.
Okay, let me even shock you, Ayo. You are talking of NNPC and other refineries. What of our Jokuta's steel rolling mill? What have you ruled?
I mean, we've not heard about that in years.
Wait, do you know people
for a lot of Nigerians, it doesn't exist.
Do you know people collect salaries? People, MDs, CEO, chief executive, all of them, they're all there collecting money every month. and yet nothing is going on. We started at the same time with South Korea. Go and check what South Korea is doing with their steel rolling mill. Go and check what they are doing. We can't even produce a spoon. That you begin to wonder who has Ayo. In fact, when I remember these things, I keep asking who have we offended in this country? Go and check how much we spent on Ajokuta. Go and check South Korea. They started us with their own. Go and check how much we spent on rail maintenance, railways. How many rail derailments have we had so far? 188 rail derailments. Because whether it is substandard, I don't understand, or vandalism. Why should people go and vandalize? Why should government, you promise critical infrastructure? Look at our roads. Look at you are driving. Look, you begin to wonder, and we pay tax, and you have taxed us. The only thing remaining to be taxed right now is the oxygen we breathe in, and yet the roads are not maintained.
All right,
0916-893-1000,
0915-333-4-893, and 0911-333-893. Nnamdi Kanu is in the news. Kanu seeks transfer from DSS custody to National Hospital. The Federal High Court in Abuja will today, Monday, hear an application by the detained leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, seeking an order for his transfer from the custody of DSS to the National Hospital in Abuja for urgent medical care. The motion was filed by Chief Kanu Agabi SAN on the 3rd of September, followed with his lawyers described as a worrisome decline in his health while in detention. Vacation Judge Justice Musa Lima had earlier granted leave of the application to be heard during the court's annual vacation period, citing its urgency. In a supporting affidavit, Kanu's brother, Emmanuel Kanu, deposed that the IPOB leader had recently complained of persistent weakness and body pains. He said doctors invited to examine him discovered worrying health complication, and according to him, a team of doctors led by Emeritus Professor Austin A.C. Agaji conducted tests in August and September, informed the family that Kanu was suffering from kidney and liver-related issues, dangerously low potassium levels, and a swelling under his armpit, requiring urgent medical intervention. This Nnamdi Kanu story or situation will be here for years. Court order upon court order. What to do, where not to do. At the moment, I'm not even sure if a lot of Nigerians are still very much more interested in this story, as it has lingered for way too much. But right now, Kanu is seeking for transfer from the DSS custody to the National Hospital. Your take on this?
Kanu, the issue of Kanu is Kanu is still on trial, is still in detention because of where it's coming from. You understand? So that is what I just want to summarize it. He's not in detention because of what he did. He's in detention because of where he's coming from. I remember people that were detained. I remember the leader of what they call Magban was detained. He was released. I remember Sunday Igboho was detained. He was released. And I remember so many people that took similar path that Kalu took, and they were released. Kanu is just in detention because of where he's coming from. If he's coming from the right source, Kanu would have been set free since a very long time ago. And he's being kept there as a bargaining chip, which is not going to augur well. You understand? Release him for political expediency so that we use it it can't work. They've kept him there for a very long time. And remember, court pronouncements upon court pronouncement, because this is a lawless state where court pronouncements don't make meaning. He would have been set free for a long time ago. But after court pronouncement after pronouncement, setting him free, and yet they are still holding him. And we are looking and we are calling people to come and invest in this kind of environment where judges are not, where court pronouncements are not honored. They can't work. So they kept him there. He has become a prisoner of conscience. And the worst that can happen is for him to die in that place. Honestly speaking, they should let the young man go home. What he is asking for, have they been able to address what this young man is asking for? Do we have a level playing ground in Nigeria? We don't. We don't have a level playing ground. And remember that, look, some of the things he said and some of the things he didn't say, people have said worse things, and yet they are walking free. So that's why I said he's in detention because of where he's coming from.
All right, that's your view on that.
That's my view. Yes, that's my view.
Well, I just saw that a while ago.